The musket is already raised. Dawn hangs low over Lexington Green, a pale light filtering through mist and breath. Boots press into frozen grass, fingers tightened around wood slick with cold. No one moves, no one speaks. A British officer steps forward. His sword flashes once in the early light. Then a crack splits the air. No one can say who fired it, but everyone understands what it means. The smoke drifts slowly, almost politely across the green. A man is down, then another. The line breaks. Orders are shouted too late. The moment has passed. The British regulars regroup. Drums beat. They fire a volley into the scattering militia. It is over in minutes. By nightfall, the road back to Boston will be red and crowded, and nothing between Britain and its colonies will ever be the same. Hours earlier, before the sun rose, the object had been lying on a tavern table in Concord, a folded piece of paper. It had passed from hand to hand in silence. Men memorized it, then burned it in the hearth. The paper did not declare war. It did not demand independence. It listed names, storehouses, and one simple instruction: move now. General Thomas Gage, military governor of Massachusetts, had been running out of time for months. Boston was surrounded by a hostile countryside. His soldiers were disciplined, professional, and outnumbered. The colonists were poorly trained, loosely organized. Every delay strengthened them. Every decisive move risked open rebellion. So Gage chose speed over caution. He ordered a nighttime march to seize weapons at Concord, quietly, efficiently, before the problem grew teeth. Paul Revere is already riding when the column leaves Boston. Hooves strike the road hard. Lanterns swing in church towers. Doors open. Voices whisper, then shout. By the time British troops reach Lexington, they are no longer on a secret mission. They are walking into a trap built not by generals, but by neighbors. The retreat from Concord is worse. Militiamen line stone walls and forests. They fire, melt away, fire again. The British column stretches thin. Officers fall. Ammunition runs low. This is not European warfare. There are no neat lines, no decisive charges, only pressure, constant, relentless. By the time the survivors reach Boston, the siege has already begun. The war is not declared, not yet, but it has started. 2 months later, on a rocky hill overlooking Boston Harbor, another object lies in plain view: a map. It is weighed down at the corners by stones. Wind threatens to lift it away. Men argue over it in low voices. The hill is called Breed's Hill. The nearby one is Bunker Hill. The names will blur. The consequences will not. The Colonial militia digs through the night. Earth, sweat, fear. At dawn, British commanders see the fortifications and freeze. The rebels should not be there. They should not have dared. But the position threatens the city. It cannot be ignored. Orders are written. Boats are loaded. Redcoats march uphill into cannon fire. The first assault fails. So does the second. The third succeeds only because the defenders run out of powder. When the smoke clears, the hill belongs to the British. The ground is carpeted with their dead. Word spreads fast. The colonists have not won, but they have proven something more important. The British can bleed. In Philadelphia, behind closed doors, men who call themselves delegates listen to reports with tightening jaws. They are not revolutionaries. They are lawyers, merchants, landowners. Many still hope for reconciliation. But armies are now facing each other, and armies require direction. George Washington stands apart from the room. He is tall, quiet, already wearing a uniform. He does not speak often. When he does, others listen. When he is offered command of the Continental Army, he accepts without celebration. He knows what the job costs. He also knows there is no one else.
Washington rides north. What he finds outside Boston is not an army, but a gathering. Men enlisted for weeks, not years. Supplies are scarce. Discipline is thinner. The enemy inside the city is professional, supplied by the world's greatest navy. Time favors Britain, unless something changes. That something arrives on paper. In January 1766, a small pamphlet appears in shops and taverns. Common Sense. It is written plainly, almost brutally. It does not argue policy, it argues inevitability. The monarchy, it says, is not protection, it is the problem.
The pamphlet spreads faster than any army. It hardens opinions. It closes doors that were still half open. Reconciliation fades. Independence begins to feel less like rebellion and more like survival. In July, another document is placed on a table. This one is heavier, formal, careful. Men argue over every word because they understand the risk. If they sign, there is no return. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration is adopted. The war does not change overnight, but its meaning does. This is no longer a dispute within an empire. It is a bid to leave it. The British respond with force. A fleet fills New York Harbor. Soldiers pour ashore. Washington is outmatched. He knows it. He loses battles. He loses ground. He saves the army by retreating again and again. Winter comes. By December, the Continental Army is shrinking. Enlistments expire. Morale fractures. The rebellion is close to collapsing, not from defeat, but exhaustion. On Christmas night, Washington takes out an object he has studied for days, a river chart. The Delaware is choked with ice. Crossing it is madness, but waiting is worse. They cross anyway. Men stumble, oars break, ice cuts hands raw. By dawn, they reach Trenton and surprise a garrison that never expected an attack in winter. The victory is small, the effect is not. The war continues. Years pass. Campaigns fail and succeed without resolution. Britain controls cities. The Americans control space. Neither side can finish it. Then slowly the scale expands. France watches, calculates. The rebellion is no longer just a nuisance. It is an opportunity. French ships appear. French gold follows. The war spreads beyond the colonies. What began as resistance now threatens British power across the globe. In 1781, in Virginia, another map is unfolded. This one shows a small town called Yorktown. British General Cornwallis has retreated there, expecting rescue by sea. The expectation is reasonable. It is also wrong. French ships block the harbor. Washington moves south faster than the British expect. The trap closes. Cannon fire shakes the ground for weeks. Cornwallis waits for relief that does not come. Supplies run out. Options vanish. On October 19, 1781, British troops march out to surrender. Drums play a slow tune. The war is not officially over, but everyone understands. 2 years later, in Paris, another document is signed. The treaty recognizes what had already been decided on a frozen green in Massachusetts. The colonies are no longer colonies. The irony is quiet. The war was fought to resist distant power. It produced a nation that would spend centuries wrestling with power of its own. Back in Lexington, the green is calm now. The grass has grown back. No one remembers who fired first. What remains is the echo. The musket is gone, but the moment it created never ended.